Hey guys, what it do? It's your boy Supreme Cheer the God. Man, oh man, oh man, we are about to witness madness. Now, obviously the people that make, LOOKISM and how to fight and all of these things, that universe, they said that somebody's gonna die in LOOKISM specifically, right? So then everybody's like, who's gonna die? Who's gonna die? Who's gonna die? And people are saying Goo might be the one to die, but I just don't think if we're thinking of a story wise, I don't think it makes sense for Goo to die right now. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know everything we need to know about Goo. There's so much unresolved issues about Goo, right? And Goo and Gun are kind of a tandem, right? If Goo loses to Tom Lee, that means we know the power scaling of Gun, right? And obviously, I don't think they want us to know the power scaling is yet, right? Because these two characters, well, Gun is going to be an important character to the end of the series. So therefore, Goo should be able to tag along till close to it. And we need a story to move forward, right? If Tom Lee wins, guess what? That means the good guys lose here, and Eugene's still going. The first affiliate's still on, and then the story is just dragging, or it's already dragging, but it's dragging extra. We need to get rid of the first affiliate. We need to get rid of Eugene, and we need to start focusing on Mr. Choi. So, excuse me, it just doesn't make any sense for Tom Lee to win and kill Goo here, because I think Goo has more relevant parts to play later. He could die later if you want, but dying here just doesn't make any sense. We don't know why he hates using a sword. We don't know why he prefers not fighting serious. We don't know what even got him to be who he is. We don't even know, you know what I'm saying? We don't know any of his shit. Like Gun as well as the both mysteries, right? We know a little bit more about Gun. We really know nothing about Goo. So it just does not make sense to kill Goo off right here. Tom Lee, on the other hand, isn't as prevalent in the story, doesn't matter as much. He might matter more in like Manager Kim's story and all of that other stuff, but he doesn't matter as much in LOOKISM. Yes, he's strong, he's super powerful, but the new generation has to defeat the old generation. And plus, in LOOKISM, we already got a murder, right? Remember the guy with the hand, you know what I'm saying, with the chop hands, he RIP'd, he got killed by Mr. Choi, so like, somebody already died. That could have been the death. You know what I'm saying? But if it's an important character, Tom Lee makes the most sense. Goo just doesn't make any sense to kill right now, unless it's to motivate Samuel. But again, even then, we didn't get enough of Goo. You know what I'm saying? We'll care because we've known Goo for a long time, but we still don't know Goo. You know what I'm saying? Like, is God Dog Johan not going to get his revenge? Like, all of these, there's so much layers and so many stuff left. It just doesn't make sense because, listen, Gun is Daniel Park's mentor. Goo is Samuel's mentor. So, and Samuel is going to play a prevalent part in the story because he's gonna, I think he's gonna eventually join back with Big Deal. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't, it doesn't really make sense for me that, Tom could die right now. So that's kind of my reasoning. Power scaling wise, I think, again, Goo is super strong, right? And I know people saying, but Tom Lee one-shotted a guy that Manager Kim struggled with, right? But we got to understand that weight class exists as well, right? The same way that this monster was about to, could have one-shot half of the people he was fighting against, Goo tanked all these hits with no problem, right? I really don't see Tom Lee dropping him with one hit. And I know people are like, oh, the guy that he beat in Manager Kim, that Goo that is, wasn't trying. But Goo's never trying either, so it just doesn't make sense. And I know people are like, oh, but Goo was trying against UI Daniel. He started trying and then UI Daniel passed out, right? Before the fight could really get intense. But we can see here, he cuts limbs, but he doesn't give a shit. So for me, I think it makes the most sense that Tom Lee dies here and that the first affiliate falls here, because it doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, why bring Goo here? You could have, I don't know, bring some other person that we don't really care about. Bring Zack's master or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense that some of these other characters would outlive somebody like Goo. And I think Goo's like, he's a loved character. He's an important character. And we have so much more to know about him. He's also, hand in hand with Gun. So if Goo is defeated here again, we know the power scaling of Gun. That means Tom Lee's stronger than Gun more than likely, which, obviously I think ruins a lot of the mystery with Goo and Gun, the tandem. And then we know that Goo, Gun, and maybe James Lee are all kind of somewhat relative. And we know that the person that's stronger than James Lee for certain, essentially, is Kim Gar-young, which is Jake's dad, right? And we know that UI Dana is being compared to that, and we also know that Jake has the potential to be that. So it doesn't really add up for him to die right now. I think he may die. Him and Gunn may die, but later. But I think these two characters are characters that probably jump around in most stories, and I think they fit better like in How to Fighting. Imagine if Goo pulled up in How to Fight and just whooped a bunch of bodies. Like we need them to be more involved. I think eventually the story is gonna somewhat crash with How to Fight. I don't think it's gonna be like a proper crossover. It's gonna be kind of like how the Manager Kim crossover is. They're all kind of in slightly different timelines, and like things kind of match, but no really. Like we know that a few characters have met or interacted with each other, but we didn't actually see it within the story itself. So that's what I think. I just think Goo has to win narratively because I think he has more to give to the story than Tom Lee does. I think Tom Lee just has information that he might know about Gary Young Kim, but I think you can find that information in so many other ways. But I think Goo's role here, if he joins the allies, like and Gon joins the ally and they go in an all-out war and they're the leaders, like I think there's just so much way more potential storytelling wise to have Goo around. Yeah, it might piss off Gon and Gon might go and kill Tom Lee, but then that just showcases that Gun is way stronger than Goo, and I don't think that's also going to be the case because I think it's ambiguous on purpose, right? Them two are never showcased fighting all out, right? The one time we seen Goo fight all out was just now, and now all of a sudden he dies. I think that just that's anticlimactic. I just don't see that happening. If it does happen and it's executed well, I even if I don't like that happening, I will have to just say it was done great, but I don't like the decision, right? But I just don't think it. I think it's really, really difficult to do well, and I also think it's not the right decision. So I just don't see it happening. But what do you guys think? Do you think Goo will win, or do you think Tom Lee will win? I think all my money goes on Goo. That's what I'm saying. I put all my chips on the table for Goo. What will you do? I'm out. Subscribe.